So yesterday we were able to pick some more apples, and we started first thing when we got home, peeling and chopping, and then I put it in a big stock pot. And then this morning I started cooking them down, and I kind of forgot about them and they got a little bit burnt to the bottom. I'm rolling with it. It's not the first time that that's happened to me when I was making applesauce or anything like that. So this first batch I'm making very chunky, leaving a bunch of the apple pieces in there. I really like chunky applesauce. So let me just show you what it looks like. So this whole pot was full of apples, very tippy top full. That's what it looks like now. It's cooked down quite a bit. I filled 2 jars so far. I'm just going to do 1 load this morning, and then I'll probably continue to cook down the rest of this into some apple butter. Yeah, so I'm just going to go through and debubble, and then I'm going to get them canning. I had said I was going to make apple butter with the rest of this, but if you come look, there's not, besides what I burnt to the bottom, there's not a whole lot. So I'm just going to give it to the kids as part of their breakfast this morning. It looks super yummy. So I'll have to make another thing of apple butter in the future. We are here on day number 2, trying to peel and process some of the apples and pears that we collected. I've got Wilder over here on pear duty. I've got Mabel over here on apple duty. I'm going to kind of float between both. We're going to fill up a crock pot full of pears to get some pear butter going. And then we'll start on the apples and just fill up a bowl with apples to turn into applesauce or whatever.
It tastes good though. Maybe I should peel mine.
Hi, this is Chris. Welcome to the one. Available now on the Club, CD, and download. Find out more on adventuresinodyssey.com. Want to be part of something awesome? You can hear about Adventures.
First, I start by chopping the pears and adding them to the crock pot. I usually add them until they are heaping over the top. Cover the top with sugar. I add a few glugs of vanilla extract that I've made, and then I ground up some cardamom pods and then put them directly in there. Cover that with the lid, and then I just let it cook down. Once it's cooked down, I will blend it all up and then can it.
Okay, Mommy, what's your ice time?
I'm going to be starting here on my pears to make pear pie filling. I've never made a pear pie, but we have lots of pears, and so I figured we could use them for pear crisp or in oatmeal or whatever. So I'm going to get started on peeling and coring and doing all of that with these pears. That sounds good. Pour it into the thing. And hopefully it works. Let's return it to a boil. Oh, it's already starting to get so thick. Oh my goodness. How can I even, oh. I think I'm supposed to stir the things in. Oh, they're gonna burn. Whoa. Okay, she said to make sure you stir all the way to the bottom. I feel like I'm in a race against time. It's so hard. It's so flat. I wanted to give you a look at something that I did the other day with our scraps. I've been wanting to try this actually for quite a few years, and I'm finally doing it. This is my scrap apple vinegar that I'm trying to do. A couple weeks ago, when I was making broth, a friend had come over to get her haircut, and she was like, "Oh, are you making broth? I can totally smell it." And she gave me the idea. She had brought up bone broth hot chocolate, and she was like, "I've been making a lot of this lately. You should try it. It's really good." And I was like, "I've never had it before, but I bet it would be really fun to make a broth specifically for hot chocolate." And so that's what I'm doing today. I am not going to be putting in any of my normal spices besides the anise. I am going to make some bone broth specifically for making bone broth hot chocolate. So to start off, I've already roasted my bones. I put them in the oven at 400 for about 30 minutes. And then I just put it in my stock pot, filled water, just enough to cover the bones and a little bit above that. And then you can see I have apples in the background. I just rinsed them off to try to get some of the outer wax off. And I'm going to just put them in whole. That way they don't get kind of like broken down. And so I'm going to go ahead and pop those in the water, and then I will put the spices in there as well. And then just kind of let it simmer all day. Here is my bone broth that I've got going. I've got 4 big bones at the bottom. I put some cardamom in there. I think I put 3 or 4 sticks of cinnamon in there. I put in some star anise, but it is broken, so you can't really see the star. And then I also put it in some cloves. You can see them kind of floating around. And then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 small apples that I stuck in there that I had left over from picking. I'm just gonna put this on simmer, cover it, and let it go for the rest of the day, and I will can it up tonight. The other thing that we have done a lot of with our apples and pears is make pear crisp. I've made, I don't know how many. I think we made like 2 a week since we've picked. And we picked a couple times, so it's been a couple months. So we've been eating a lot of pear crisp. We have only had, 1 apple crisp, I think, out of the whole bunch. I will be making another round of applesauce bread. I will leave my favorite recipes that we've done so far in the description box below, so make sure you check that out. Our favorite so far has been the pear bread, and it is like just so good. I think, and Wilder has actually requested it for his birthday cake. He said maybe just put some vanilla frosting on it. So it is really delicious, and I'll put that recipe down below also. But I'm going to get started on this applesauce bread, and I'll show you what it looks like, but it is pretty tasty. Oh my word, I wish you could smell my kitchen right now. It smells so good. I currently have this going on my stove, and it just smells like a warm apple cider like candle going. Oh, it smells so good. I don't want it to stop. I also have just put in an applesauce bread in the oven. I have about an hour left on that, but while I'm waiting for that to get done and the boys are taking a break from their homeschool, I am going to start some pear kvass. We've already drank all of the stuff that I made last week, so I'm going to make a new one. I set out a gallon of our water last night so that the chlorine could be evaporated from it, and I'm going to go ahead and get chopping and get that going. And I'm really excited because we all loved it last time. I even brought a bottle of it down to my neighbor friend, and she was like, girl, what kind of kombucha is that? And I was like, it's not kombucha, it's kvass. So it was really exciting. I'll probably bring her another bottle. It's really fun. I'm gonna get that going now. I'm definitely not going to chop them as small as I did last time because they broke down so quickly, and it made my straining job a lot harder. So I am just going to quarter these and put them in there. I'm going to take some fresh ginger and add that this time. I'm probably going to take about, well, this knob, that knob, and that knob. I think it'd be fun to have it be kind of spicy. I will probably add some cinnamon as well. And I'm just roughly chopping this. All right, so in my jar, I've got the pears. I put some ginger pieces, and now I'm going to add my honey and cover it with a plate. That's pretty much a wrap on preserving pears and apples. So just to list off a few of the things that we did to recap, I've made pear butter, a ton of pear butter. I've made applesauce, pear sauce. I've made a bunch of baked goods. I've made, I don't know, dozens maybe, pear crisps, an apple crisp, muffins, pear bread. Now I'm making the bone broth for the hot chocolate, and I've made kvass. I've also started a batch of apple brandy wine. I've started a batch of my apple scrap vinegar. I forgot to also say that we did dry some apples as well. Let me know in the comments below what your favorite method is to preserve your harvest of pears or apples, and then make sure to thumbs up this video, subscribe if you're not yet subscribed, and until next time, thanks for joining in, and hopefully you got some new ideas or recipes on how to preserve your harvest as well.